All right. Hi, Namrata.
Hi,
How are
Akhila.
you
Nice to
doing?
see you. I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely fine. And I just became a little better looking at you, and I can't wait to start this conversation because I'm really looking forward to knowing more about the books, the wonderful books that you've written. So let's get
Mhm.
started. I'll introduce myself. I'm Akhila Kochhar from Mommy Wise, and I'm a mother of two most beautiful kids. And along with that, I'm also a pre-primary educator. And I have with me here Namrata Jalan, who is an author of these wonderful children's books. Not only that, she has studied from Nottingham University. She has worked in Germany and Australia. She's traveled the whole world. She's explored it all. And she's come down and she started writing these wonderful books. And my question to you is, Namrata, how did you start writing books? And how come you started writing on mythology?
Okay. Hi, thanks. Actually, about 4 years ago, I was sitting right here by the Ganga, and I was just listening to the sound of the water flowing, and just getting into that stillness. And suddenly, this person came up to me and told me that if you pick up the water of the Ganga and you whisper your wish into it and then give it back to Ganga, then the wish comes true. So as
Oh,
a
wow.
yeah. So, as a person of logic, obviously, I was like, that can't be true. But I went back to my room and I started looking up about the river, about Ganga, about water, and I
Mhm.
found out that I found this Japanese scientist, Masaru Emoto, who did some experiments on how water has memory. So,
Oh,
yeah, water has memory, and that's also proven by homeopathy, which is a form of medicine that a lot of us believe in, which uses chemicals to change the property of the water. So there's nothing inside the water as an ingredient, but it changes the memory of the water. So it carries the memory of the chemical that is used in the water. So then I got really excited about it, and I found some more things about how flowing water creates positivity, and some more scientific facts on Ganga Ji. And I just sat down by the river and I started writing a story for children
oh.
because I just felt that there's so much in our mythology, in our rich history and knowledge, in our Vedantic sciences, but a lot of it is just there as theory. It's just written in books. You read it and you just put it in your shelves, and you can't apply it in your life. You can't connect it to reality. So that's why I thought that putting this forward to kids as something that can be connected to their everyday lives. If they see a river, they know what it means and how they can utilize it in their everyday life. And I've written about like pets who, like, we have Kamdhenu,
Oh,
who, yeah, is a magical cow. Um, so our mythology talks about Kamdhenu, but it's just like a mythological character. But so Tiny Tala has a cow as a pet, and she connects with the cow through love, through emotions, and then you get to know a lot of things, a lot of science behind what Kamdhenu comes up from. So um, yeah, that was the idea. That's how I started writing
okay.
on
That's
mythology
quite
also.
an inspirational story to be sitting by the Ganga and just getting the idea that I need to write this for kids and they need to understand our mythology. And I think you've made it very simple for the children because I know of so many mothers out there who try to teach their children about mythology, but it's so confusing with all the characters. There's so many characters, and then we get into how complicated it can be for the children to understand. So I think you made it really, really easy. And that's why I think you've used animals, right?
Yeah, so children really connect with animals, like especially when they are young, they love to go to like forests to see animals,
Yeah.
and they can connect really well with them in terms of emotions as well. So if you have a pet, you really like kind of have a different kind of bond with them usually. So and they find it really exciting, So it's a great way to put forward morals and learnings for them through things around them which can inspire them as well. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can totally relate to that. That children get really, really happy and excited when they see animals and birds, any kind of animals, I would say. But can you tell me more about your characters? What all characters does Tiny Tara play with?
Okay, so Tiny Tara herself is the protagonist who's like this really quirky character I came up with, which kids can connect with.
Actually,
She's
show
got
her also. That's Tiny Tara, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So she's got like one small ponytail and one longer ponytail, and she's got these glasses, and one side of her glasses have a mirror, so you can see a reflection on them. And then she has this like really magical bag, and so like, and she's like really good in studies, but she's like always helping others, all the other friends and kids in school. So you know, kids can really kind of connect with her also, and also find her really fun. And so like she goes to school for the first time in one of the books, and like how that gets really exciting, because a lot of children find it really scary to go to school for the first time, or they don't enjoy school, and 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 she makes it really fun. So and in every book she meets a different character, usually like a mythological character, or an animal, or a plant, or it could be an instrument. uh, yeah, so through those characters, she learns something new in every book.
Well, that sounds really, really interesting. And she sounds to be completely quirky. And I'm really, really looking forward to reading more of these books. I've already read 4 of them. And even my son finds them absolutely fascinating, especially your Kamdhenu cow. He really likes her. So, can you name a few of the characters? There's Kamdhenu cow, and I know the story. There's one
So
about the wishing tree, which is our kalpriks.
yeah, there's one on her monkey pet, Hanu.
Oh,
And
Hanu
there's one on
like
yes, so Hanu. So I haven't
sounds
explicitly
nice.
yeah. So and then there's one on her little brother
Oh,
Arjun. So you know how yeah. So we always have something going on with our siblings.
yeah. So
So
you basically covered it all: pets, brothers, siblings, school. So all the problems that I think we as parents face with the children getting along and things like that. Oh, that's really amazing. That's absolutely fascinating. And what
yeah.
about,
So I
yeah, please go on.
Yeah, so I think like a lot of things kids are scared about because of the conditioning, or whatever they've seen around. And I feel that if we give them like a wider perspective on things, on a bigger goal in life, uh, things really change. Like, so you could be doing the same things, but if you just change the perspective, everything changes. So, like for example, like if I feel down, sometimes I feel like a little not so great. I just step out, and I just step out of earth, and I look at earth from a distance. So it feels like, if you look at earth and you imagine what you are on earth, then you're just like a speck, you're like nobody, right?
Yeah.
And we just make such a big deal about things, and we stress, like as mothers we are stressing about getting the latest gadgets, or getting the latest clothes for children. And if you even academically you want your children to come first in class, but after, say, when your child is 50 years old, are these things really going to matter? Like, do you remember what you studied in the seventh chapter of geography in class seven, for example? So,
Not at all. But
yeah.
that's a great way to view things. And yeah, true. If we as parents just broaden our perspective, we'll feel less stressed. You're absolutely correct about that. One of the other things that I really wanted to ask you is, there are a lot of children who are not into reading, and parents keep getting them books, buying them, trying to get them into reading, but they just don't seem to connect with books. Do you have any ways, or in your Tiny Tara series, or just some ideas that you feel that us mothers can use to help children read more?
Yeah, so for example, I have a nephew who did not like reading at all, but he was really interested in sports,
Mhm.
and that is like a category. So I think it's great even if you can understand what your child is really interested in, what is his calling.
Yeah.
Uh, so if he knows it's sports, it's a particular kind of sport, he started reading a lot. I got him books around that sport, and he loved them. He used to read them day and night, you know. So he loved reading books on sports. So if you can pick up an interest, you get to know. And if you don't even get to know the interest, then there are lots of other ways. Like I have tried to connect activities with the books, and there are some fun facts at the end of the books. We've written like some fun facts on science and mythology that can get the kids interested. And then there are obviously animals and quirky characters that children connect with. And travel. I think travel is a great way to open up the mind. And then I've written a lot of travel stories in my books. So like I always make notes wherever I'm traveling, and then after a year or so, when I look back at them, I find them more fascinating, and I use them in my books. So that is something I find exciting, and it encourages me to read or write also.
Nice. That's actually very interesting. I want to know more about the things that you've written at the back of the book, like the last page after the story ends.
Yeah.
What exactly are these? Like I want you to tell the audience, because I am truly in love with it. Like after reading the story, those little pointers, they're very, very nice.
So in the story, I haven't given like a top-down approach of giving gyan to the kids. Like this is the moral of the story. And I've made it really subtle, so they really like connect with it, and they don't think that someone is trying to burden them with some kind of moral. But at the end, just to clarify that perspective, I've given like fun facts on the mythological character and as well as the science behind it, so they can understand it like from the moralistic perspective as well, and like learn something out of it at the end.
Oh.
So, and it's not like a burden for them, and I've seen, like, as a kid I also used to love reading these fun facts here and there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I know that's absolutely correct. Same with me. And I think as a parent also, reading them makes so much more sense. It kind of puts the whole story together.
yes.
It's really, really very interesting. I'm really, really looking forward to more books from you, honestly. And I really want to know that when you were writing these books, or when you came up with the idea of these books, what was that one wish that you had for children, or what did you want to communicate to children through your books?
Okay, so I think the two most important things that we need to teach children are creation and seva. That's what the wise men say. um, so but like, what really is that? What does it mean by creation and seva? Like, seva can mean so many things, right? So
Yeah.
if you go, for example, and go and help somebody in an orphanage, like a kid goes and he learns, that is something. But if you say that, okay, I, Namrata Jalan, went and did this for this child, and or like help this person get employed, or that only increases ego inside
Yeah.
us, right? So that's just building up. Character wise, it's not doing any good to us ultimately, like if you're just building up your ego through that. So seva means getting more and more selfless. So doing things for somebody, thinking that it's an opportunity that has come to you to help others, and not that because you want to do it. And that's what a lot of NGOs, I feel like, I think they try to kind of give them what they want, what the NGO wants, instead of what the kids want. So um, that's one thing I felt, that being more and more selfless, and that can come if you have a wider perspective. So like, if you have, like I was talking earlier, if you just keep a wider perspective on things, look at earth from a distance. Yeah. So
But how do you
it
get
it kind of
that wider perspective in children? Like I understand as adults we can step back and look at things, but how to get that in children?
So,
How do your books aim at doing that?
if the children start doing more and more
Yeah.
selfless service, like if they think of, working together as a group. So if they want to do, like even if they want to create
Mm-hmm.
something, instead of thinking, like if you look at the biggest achievers, Einstein or Feynman or whoever, they didn't think from the perspective of just creating for themselves, creating, like if for example, like the electricity has gone bad and you just go outside your house and you fix that and you come back, and instead of that you fix the entire problem of the
Yeah.
whole, like root of it. And that kind of thing, that's just a little shift in perspective. And then if you do that, I feel that the whole universe kind of starts working with you, even the, like that's how I've written in the books, like the plants and the animals also start working together with you, and it's like a more holistic approach to things. So even the kids can, like, if they think like that, if they just shift their perspective, it's wonders can happen with whatever they do. So
Absolutely.
that's,
Absolutely agree with you. I think that's what I got. That's the message that I got when I was reading as well, that you're trying to make the children more empathetic. You're trying to make them have those loving feelings towards animals and plants without
yeah.
sounding too preachy. And that's
Yes.
what really, resonated with me as a parent, especially.
Yeah, so there's like one common thing in amongst all of us, and that common thing can actually connect. You can connect with other things through love. That's the only kind of ingredient you can use to connect with all the other plants and animals and everything around you, because ultimately you're one. Like that's what the common thing amongst us is. So if you can just utilize that, uh, everything is going to be much more holistic and uh, wider in general. So
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, imagine a world where everyone is just full of love and, they have all these point of views and they're not just thinking for themselves, they're actually thinking from an animal's point of view or, how it feels to be someone else and they're just helping each other out. And I think that's
yes,
what the bigger picture is here
yeah,
with you and your books that you're also trying to do. Just make a
yeah.
play
So
this world more full of
yeah, so
love.
like I told one of the kids that if you give love to your dog, for example,
Hmm.
your dog can even they have some magic that they can show to you. Like for example, the dog have the sense of smell. So if you ring the bell and the dog would even come before they can see you because they can smell you and they can show you that kind of magic. Like so, they can connect through smell and things because they love you, and that's how. So uh,
Yeah,
everything around you can be magical that way.
that's quite interesting. That's true. Everything can be so magical. What you just said for us, we see things, but dogs smell things. So that kind of connection with that animal, if everyone has that point of view that everything around us is magical, then I think yes, true. Especially for children, it's going to be very, very good to connect with.
Yeah, and I think also we should also try and see what how to express love as well, because a lot of times, like even for us as parents, we think that giving things to their children, giving like buying toys or whatever is how most people today are expressing love. But that's not the your presence and your it's like the story of Arjun and Duryodhan, when they go to Krishna before the war, before Mahabharat, you have the option of either choosing Krishna or his entire
Mhm.
Sena. So God will give you what you want. So if you want his Vaibhav, you want his Sena, you will get that. If you want him, you will get that. So it's the things that that's more important, or it's the love. It's the person.
Yes,
So
love it definitely. Yeah, I agree with you. And there's one thing that I wanted to also share with you that I love the fact that you've created a character, Tara, and she is a human and she is connecting with animals. In a lot of stories, it's animals connecting with animals or humans connecting with humans. but it's not that common to see one human as the focus of the story and she is connecting with everyone else. So is there a reason that you chose Tara and Tara's character? Like how you came up with her character, how
Oh,
you came up with the quirkiness of one pony small, one pony big. Like how was that? How did like why?
so I thought of Tara as someone who's still really pure. Like when we are born, as children, and we are not as conditioned, by the world. When we grow up, there are so many things we go through because of which we get really conditioned, and we make decisions according to that. The innocence that a child has kind of goes away. So and the love factor, love also starts meaning something different as we grow up. And as a child, I think that is still quite pure, and that's how I thought of Tiny Tara, because she's wacky, but she's like really with it as well, because she's not conditioned. So we are actually limitless, and anything is possible. It's because of our thinking and our conditioning that we limit ourselves, and uh, and we limit, I mean, everything we do. We can do what we can't even imagine doing. So
Yeah, that's actually
that's
such
the
a
reason.
lovely thought that she's pure, she's not conditioned. That's really really lovely. So there's another thing, Mamta, that like, is there more things that you're working on? More books?
Yeah, so I have written, so five books have been published right now. I have written about 20 stories, all to do with like something. So I've written a story on the sun, for example, and we get to know. So we see the sun every day, but how do we integrate it into our life? What can the sun do for us, and how can we be one with the sun? You know, so and obviously this is not put forward as really like gyan for the children. It's like put forward in a really fun way. So all so there are about 20 of such stories that should be coming up soon.
Wow, I really cannot look for, like, I can't wait for them to come out. And it was great talking to you. And I think now I really think that everyone, all the viewers, need to go out there and buy your Tiny Tara series. They're actually called the
Yeah,
Tiny Tara Tales, which I found
yeah.
really fascinating because when you say it quickly, it's like a tongue twister. Tiny Tara Tales. So I think that's
Oh
how
yeah.
resonate with the children because they love these little things, tidbits over here. So anyway, where can we buy your books from?
Yeah, so you can get it on Amazon, or there's getsetread.in, which is the publisher's website, and you can get some discounts on that as well. I think it's
Oh yes, actually, that's also another thing that I needed to tell all our viewers that there is going to be a 15% discount, and the discount code would be in the comments section once the live is over. And for that, you have to follow us on Mommy Wise. And yeah, I think that's about it. I had a wonderful time talking to you, Namita. Is there anything that you want to tell our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, so I think in this time, like this Corona time, where most of us are trying to be indoors, not going out, I think books are a great way to connect with the world outside, and also to go within. Dive for children as well. They can understand themselves better and connect with the world outside. So reading is a great way. I mean, there are so many people like right now. Meet people like I'm a therapist, so I meet people who come here with emotional issues, and they are like after this whole year of lockdown, they have a lot of people have been really emotionally kind of disturbed, and I've been treating them. Again, that is also we have to understand that. Like physics says that the universe is not made up of atoms and molecules anymore. It's made up of energy fields. And if we realize that, and we have a bigger goal, and I think people like even if you're like closed up in a place, it wouldn't really like make a difference as much. It wouldn't lead to emotional problems like people are facing. And if that is done through childhood, that is kind of instilled as trained, having that kind of perspective, such problems would not be cropping up later.
Oh, that's really,
So
you're trying to like sort out the emotional issues, like you're making sure that they don't happen in the first place.
yes,
Yeah, that's really nice. And I think your books do that. They take you in another world altogether. So even if you're locked down in your house and we read your books to the children, they will they will actually travel with the story, and they're going to go into another world of their own. That's very rare. That, yes, absolutely. It was wonderful talking to you, Namrata. And
it was really great talking to you too, and thank you for putting this together. It couldn't have been possible without you putting in that effort for it.
it's the whole Mommy Wise team. They have worked together. It's a wonderful team, and I'm very lucky to be a part of it. And
Yeah,
hopefully, I'll see you soon.
yes.
And for our viewers, I would really like to thank our viewers for viewing in and watching our little live. And thank you so much. And I really look forward to having to seeing Namrata again, because I really want to meet her in person now, as soon as the COVID gets
You are
over.
actually most welcome to come. Delhi is not very far from here.
Yes, I
it's,
know.
it's, it's a great
I'm
detox.
sure. I'm sure. All right then.
Great.
See you.
See you soon.